Hi, this is Tim from UK Home Gym, your home for UK-specific independent home gym tips and advice. And today I'm going to do another product review for you, and I'm going to talk about resistance bands again. I do have a soft spot for resistance bands, and this product that I'm going to talk to you about, which is the Gymproluxe Bar and Band Set 2.0. This company actually sent me a set to review for you, but that's not going to influence my take on it. I'm going to give you my honest opinion. I'm going to show you what it does, and and then I'll tell you my thoughts on it after that. So what this is, I think if you're sort of familiar with resistance band training or resistance bands in general, you might have come across the sort of more generic sets where you have like a door anchor, and you have the sort of tube type resistance bands that have like a carabiner on each side of them. You might also be familiar with the sort of more free form ones where it's like a long piece where you sort of pull it apart and so on. And then the other type that you might have is that sort of tube, sort of loop type. That's the more sort of familiar one for people who do a bit more in the weight room. That sort of type that you could sort of attach to maybe a barbell or something like that to give you a slightly different resistance curve on an exercise. But yeah, I'm going to talk to you about this set. This set is very slightly different because it reminds me a little bit of the X3, if you know that, or the Harambe system. Those are, they sort of have a bar there where you attach like the loop type bars, the loop type resistance bands to them, and then there's a sort of a plate that you can stand on, and then you can do, you can anchor basically yourself the band to the floor with your body weight. The same thing here. You're sort of anchoring, you're anchoring with your body weight, but they have a slightly different. I'm going to show you actually. They have a slightly different sort of setup here in the fact that the anchor point is actually a sort of elasticated sort of part that you'll see on your screens. So basically, rather than the sort of more typical resistance bands that I was talking about, these are very small sort of tube resistance bands with a sort of proprietary sort of system that sort of attaches them to the handle and the sort of plate part of the band. The plate part that attaches it, sort of the anchoring part, basically. So let's have a look to see what you get in the box. You get 3 different resistance, bands, 3 different types of resistance bands, so 6 in total, 3 each side, sorry. And they say that this goes up to 90 kilograms of resistance. Obviously the black one is the most, it gives you the most resistance. I think the white's probably the least, and the green is sort of the medium one. You also get this bar that you can, it sort of breaks apart in the middle. You can screw it together in the middle. It's a metal bar. It's coated with some kind of, I'm not quite sure, some kind of foam basically, so it doesn't sort of press into you too much there. And it's got hooks on the side so that you can actually attach other things to it. Now, they do have like a sort of expanded, I think they call it an all-in-one gym set, where you can, you can get these longer sort of tubes there and do different kinds of exercise. But just with the basic package, the 2.0, you don't get those. But I'm going to come back to those little hooks because they may have a use sort of further down the line. So, when you're trying to sort of, when you're doing the exercise, when you're setting this up, you can choose your resistance level by either attaching 1, 2, or all 3 of the bands to the handle in each case. So I think one of the things that they're trying to sort of emphasize with this band or this set, sorry, is its portability. So you can break the bar up into two pieces. They give you like a little carry bag that you can put this all into, and obviously that whole sort of base of it, you can just fold that in half and put that in the bag. And the little tube resistance bands there, you could probably get a few spares into that bag as well if you wanted to, or put them in another bag, whatever. So let's go on and talk about some of the exercises you can do with this. Now it does, I believe, have an app, and there's you can link to sort of their website. There's like a QR code that you scan and it shows you the website, and there's some follow along exercises. I think there are some workout programs and stuff like that that you can follow. But I decided to see if I could do some of these exercises and see how they sort of went. You can do the bench press here with the sort of lying on the ground. That's okay. Here I found that really I had to go up to full maximum kind of resistance there to sort of feel very much, to be honest with you. But yeah, you definitely, it does feel like some sort of bench press like activity. This is not one of their suggested exercises here. I decided to try and do some skull crushers with this, and I actually found that it was quite good with the skull crushers there. I quite like it on the isolation exercises there, more so than the compound, the bench press there. There's quite a wide array of upper body stuff that you can do here. Now I sort of tried to follow the suggestions for the weighted, resisted push-up. I'm not quite sure I got the form exactly right here. Maybe I need to pay more attention, but this didn't really feel very good for me. The the resisted push-ups, but I don't generally like resisted push-ups with the bands anyway. I did the curls here. They suggest doing it kneeling, or I think that's because of the length of the bands is quite short, so you sort of have to do that kneeling. Yeah, I found this all right. It wasn't too bad. They also suggested a sort of a hammer curl type variation. I like that a lot less. It just didn't feel like it was really doing much for the forearms or the biceps. This is the bent over row. I quite like the bent over row. It's not bad. It doesn't really, it felt a little bit easy for me, even with all of the resistance on there, like the max, sort of maxed out the bands there and so on. But yeah, now this is the shrugs. It's good. Yeah, the shrugs was quite good. I quite like that. I mean, again, I'm sort of maxing this out. Probably my form could do with a bit of work there, but still, it didn't feel too challenging, really. So yeah, maybe if there was a way to sort of get a bit of extra resistance, that would be great. I tried to follow along with their instructions for the chest flies. That just did not feel right for me at all. I did not feel like that was a fly exercise at all for me. I feel like maybe you could just sort of push outwards and just do a sort of standing bench type thing with neutral grip, and that might be a little bit better than that sort of fly movement. It just didn't really seem to work for me. Now, I think we're going to try and get onto the lower body here. And I think this is their sort of suggestion for the deadlift, or something that sort of mimics the deadlift. I mean, it's more like a trap bar deadlift if you had to equate it to any kind of barbell exercise, because you're not, if you look at the way that your weight is and where your hands are, they're not really where you would expect them to be for a deadlift. Now, I decided to try and see if I could do something a bit different, and that is use some third-party equipment with the bar, because I'm quite a big fan of this bar. I do enjoy that bar quite a lot. So what I did with that is I sort of, just as an experiment, I tried to attach one of my sort of generic tube type bands to this and see if I could do a squat with it, because their suggestion for squats is it doesn't seem to be a squat for me. They do suggest something, but it looks more like another variation of a deadlift for me. It didn't feel like a squat either. But doing this, you're doing a bit more of a squat type pattern. So perhaps if you do get some, or you do use your own sort of tube like resistance bands for this, maybe it'll work a bit better. And I tried that also with the sort of with the curls as well, for a standing curl variation, and that seems to work quite well. So the bar itself, maybe you can use that for a variety of different things, basically. So yeah, what you get there, I think, is let's think about. I'll talk about the things that I really like about it. What I really like about it is it's very, very portable. It's very, very light, and I think that for beginners, I think it would be really fantastic. For anyone rehabbing some injuries, it's a very good. If you travel a lot and you can't get regular access to gyms and stuff like that, I think it's very good as well. And I think it's definitely it takes up almost zero space, which is very good when you don't have a lot of space, and unless you have a really big house to sort of give over to a gym and whatever. As you can see, I was doing all of these exercises in my living room, so it definitely has that going for it. Let's talk about the things that I'm not so keen on. I think that going up to 90 kilograms, if that's accurate at all, I'm sure it's been tested somehow, but it doesn't feel very challenging. But maybe I'm looking at this from the wrong perspective, and it doesn't feel very challenging for me because I spend half of my life lifting, heavy cast iron plates on barbells and stuff like that. And maybe it isn't really designed for people like me. It's more designed for people who are just sort of beginning on their gym journeys. And maybe it's an introduction, a good introductory tool for people who are sort of starting off. So perhaps there's that. But the other thing that I really wish that bar, and again, this might be the sort of gym rat in me talking. I really wish that bar was knurled and like a sort of chrome sort of bar, basically something that looked a bit more like a barbell, like the X3. I really think that's I don't feel quite so confident with that sort of foam grip type thing over the top of it. Though what I do like is the length of that bar, and I do like the fact that it's got hooks on it that you can put carabiners on, and you can sort of start looking for different ways to use it, basically. Yeah. So in conclusion, do I think you should buy it? Well, it retails, I don't know exactly the price. It seems to move around a little bit. On Amazon, I saw it for 120 one week, £115 another week, whatever. So yeah, I don't think that's a rip-off. I don't think it's super cheap either. But if resistance band work is something that you really enjoy, or you don't really want a home gym. This is my I think my conclusion. I think if you're someone who happens to be watching a channel called UK Home Gym but doesn't actually want a home gym, this could be the thing for you, because it's very, very, very portable. It's very sort of easy to stash, and unlike a lot of the other the sort of more generic bands, I believe it does have a warranty and stuff like that. So I think if any of the bands broke, maybe you could get in touch for a replacement or something like that. And I think that certainly the sort of base part there, I don't think that will damage over time. I think you'd struggle to damage it. Basically, it's quite well put together. So yeah, my conclusion is, if you are a hardcore gym rat like me, and you love your free weights and stuff like that, you probably don't have a great need for this. Maybe if you travel a lot, you might need it. Maybe if you if you're trying to do some rehab work, be very good for rehab work. Yeah, I think if you're sort of an entry level person, if you're just sort of starting off on your gym journey and you're not really sure if you want to commit to having a home gym, I think it could be a good investment. Anyway, that's all I have for you today. I wonder if you have any experience using this. If you would like to let me know your thoughts in the comments below, I'd love to hear them. Please do check out our website, ukhomegym.com. Like, share, subscribe, all of that good stuff. And I'll see you next time on UK Home Gym.